Welcome to episode 36 of My Views Extended. I'm your host, Nadia, and thank you so much for coming back this week if you are a return listener, and thank you so much for checking me out if you're a new listener. Aside from this podcast, which is posted on Tuesdays, you can learn more about me on my blog at nadiajanella.com, where I post on Mondays, Wordless Monday, through pictures, Wednesdays, where I focus on various reviews and DIYs every other Wednesday, Thursdays, where I post recipe links back to nadiajanella.com for printable recipes from my new YouTube cooking channel, Nadia's Kitchen Creations. I am still in the process of creating a free online newsletter once a month where everything that I've done throughout the month is in one place, or at least the highlights of that month, with of course some extra bonus material that I hope is of use to you or of some interest to you. You can also keep up with me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter, and I will leave links to all social media sites in the show notes. If you have any questions about anything, well, not anything. If you have any questions in regards to my blog, the podcast, or my YouTube channel, you can contact me at myviewsextended@gmail.com or on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Let's get into this week's episode. Black women prone to hair loss. According to a survey called Black Women's Health Study done at Boston University, nearly 6,000 African American women were surveyed about hair loss. In this survey, a whopping 47% of these 6,000 women had hair loss at the top of the scalp. And according to the study, Black women are more prone to hair loss because of several factors. One, and excuse my pronunciation, is centrifugal cicatricial alopecia. This is a condition that inflames and can destroy hair follicles, according to Dr. Lindsay. She is a University of Connecticut dermatologist and researcher who presented the findings. Two, frequent braiding, which if you're old enough, probably remember a time where all you did was braiding, and because it was a style, because it was easy, because it was summertime, because you're going away to school. If you're old enough, you went through that phase where braiding that was what a lot of people did. Number three, weaves. Probably a lot more common now than say 20 years ago. But yes, weaves have been around for a lot longer than 20 years, but definitely weaves are, even with all the natural movement, weaves are much more of a thing now than 20, 30 years ago. And of course, chemical relaxers, which I don't even want to guess, but they've been around for a long time. That is the fourth most common cause of hair loss of African American women. And in this study, unfortunately, 80% of these women have not gone to a doctor about it. I went once years ago, but have not brought it up with any doctor until my current doctor. And I have no idea why. That's what doctors do. Unless they just started yesterday, then they've seen it all. And I have had issues with hair loss and hair thinning as well. And my issue is at my temple, like that kind of triangle temple area. And I don't really talk about it. Well, actually, this is probably the first time I've spoken about it publicly. Very few people know about it, and even less people see it. Very few people have seen it. Because if I'm honest, it's a little embarrassing, even though it's, hair loss or hair baldness, whatever your issue is hair-wise. It's more common in women of any race than people think or talk about. For me, stress is a huge factor, and I've noticed a pattern over the years when I've had major surgery, when my mom died, and when I was struggling with school, when I had to pick up my life and move across the country, all major stressors. And the stress, whether it was a good stress or a bad stress is stress. And so far my hair has grown back, but it's definitely an unwanted indicator, but an indicator that I need to get my stress levels under control and find better ways to cope with life. Stress will never stop coming my way and your way if you have any issues like that, but it's definitely how we cope and manage those stressors so that our bodies and minds do not break down. I was never a huge person to put a huge strain on my hair or my hairline, through weaves, although I did it once or twice. I can't remember. It was once or twice. It was too high maintenance for me. I did, of course, do the braids thing for many years, but I always gave my hair a break. It was never years of braids in a row. I did relax perm my hair for many years as well, but I did stop that and I did the big chop. Cutting with chop means basically just letting your hair grow out without any chemicals in it and then just chopping off all the chemically relaxed hair. Then I went natural several times before my final big chop at about, I would say, maybe 13 or 14 years ago, but don't quote me. I may have been off by a year or two. Either way, I didn't mark it on a calendar because I didn't know that that was going to be the last time that I would not put relaxer in my hair. Yeah, and I also don't do any, what do you call it? Yeah, I've never worn wigs. I've never done clip-ons. And yeah, I don't blow dry my hair, so I'm not like yanking on my hair all the time. Even when I had relaxed hair, I probably would blow dry it maybe literally like twice a year. That was it. I just don't use excessive anything on it anymore. Anyway, so I think the damage, yeah, so it's been 13 to 14 years ish. So I think that any damage that I did to my scalp from those horrible chemical burns has since healed. So I don't think that that's an issue. And I think if it was an issue, there would be no hair growing back. It would just be smooth skin. And yes, damage from chemical burns and any of the residue from the relaxer that remains in your scalp. I definitely, listen, relax if you must. Relax, if that's what you're comfortable doing. Nobody's shaming anybody, but I'm definitely not going to lie to you and say that that's a good thing to put on your scalp to be absorbed into your body. I just think it's kind of criminal, like lie. And even the ones that say no lie, they're using something to relax your hair or calling lie something else. But, you can't change the follicle and cause chemical burns from something that isn't toxic to you. It's chemical burns. Come on. And I learned this years ago. Apparently, if it's a little morbid, but I'm trying to make a point here. When they have the remains of a deceased person and say they've whatever from decomposition or whatever factors have gotten to the body and they're unrecognizable, so before they can kind of put them in the database to figure out who these people are, they are actually able to tell that it's a, generally, obviously males do it too, but generally a female African American person from the chemical burns on any remaining scalp tissue. So that's how bad the chemical burns and scar tissue is of that stuff that you're putting on your head, or as many people like to call it, the creamy crack. Yeah, so just think about that. It scars you up so bad that that's an actually indicator to say, okay, now we know it's an African American. We can help narrow down to identify who that person is. I personally, if I had girl children, no relaxer would be touching their hair or scalp. Even the kitty relaxers, it's all the same thing. Kitty relaxers, texturizers, they are just marketed to fool you into thinking that it's gentler or better for your head or your child's head. Listen, if I can deal with my beautiful nappy head, I'll be able to deal with her beautiful nappy head, and then she can deal with her beautiful nappy head when she gets old enough. Those are the breaks. Some of us have harder to deal with hair, but we age beautifully. Those are the breaks. Bargain shopping. I am a bargain shopper. It's been a little harder since I've been here out west because it's been a year, but I just don't get out that much. And the deals are a little different. And because I probably shop more at more farmers markets and things like that, it's a little harder to get a little more deals, but I am getting it done and I think I'm getting better. So hopefully I'll be back up to being able to save as much as I did when I was out east in Ontario. Sometimes I call myself cheap, other times I call myself thrifty, but most of the time I call it shopping smart. Cheap is not always good, but sometimes the budget does not allow for, the best quality items, let's be honest. I personally prefer the best quality of everything that I can afford. You shop for what you can afford. But my thing is, why buy cheap if you have to replace it several times over a year or two, when you can just buy an item once, pay a little more and have the item for 20 years. And sometimes that means you're not going to be able to buy it right away or have it right away. Sometimes that means saving for a year or more and living, for example, without a coffee table. You have your couch and you have your rug and your area rug, but you don't have a coffee table. It's not a necessity, but it's just an example of living without until you can afford what you want or the quality of something that you want. Or another thing is, instead of going on, 2 or 3 small vacations a year, some people might want to save for one amazing family vacation every 4 to 5 years, for example. In the end, I guess it's all about what is important to you. Which brings me back to I was reading, and I have read over the last several months, articles about what are the worst and best things that you can buy at dollar stores. And I will say before I start that the American dollar stores have much better options in general and carry more name brands. And they also, I believe, some of them have, I think it's Dollar Tree. They also have more food options, fresh food options. I don't know about the quality of them. From a few people that I've seen online, they don't personally buy their fresh food or meat from there because I don't trust them. But and again, like I said, if it's in your budget and you're okay with it, go ahead. But I'm here in Canada, so I have to shop with the dollar stores that we have. We do have Dollar Trees in Canada, and dollar stores, Dollar Trees variations, but I do believe we don't have any fresh options or meat options. We just have, for food wise, and everything is canned or jarred or packaged and sealed. Nothing fresh or like freezer section, fridge section, things like that. Anyway, what I always buy at the dollar store, there's a list here. What I always buy at the dollar store to save money because really the quality isn't that different, or the life of something isn't that different from buying from someplace like I guess a Target or a Walmart or Sears or a grocery store or something like that. So definitely batteries of all sizes. I love the Tame Argan Oil conditioner when I can find it, which my hair absolutely loves. It's like $1.25 or something like that, or $1.50. And normally I wouldn't buy hair products at a dollar store, but this one works really, really well. Puzzles, I love buying, not the huge puzzles, but the puzzles maybe up to 500 pieces. The disposable bakeware, which is great if you're bringing a food dish to somebody's house and you don't want to worry about getting your dish back. And they're also, the aluminum ones, they're also great for when you're preparing make-ahead meals. You assemble your meal, say whether it's like say a soup or not a soup, like a casserole or something like that. You assemble it, pop them in the freezer, and then when it's time to bake, you pop them out of the freezer in the same container and put them in the oven, and then you can serve it. Not the best for the environment, but it is an option. It's, easy and cheap. Tape, Scotch tape, packing tape, duct tape, definitely. Although I do notice that they're smaller, the rolls aren't as big, so if you can get it on sale someplace else for the amount that you get, it might be worth shopping elsewhere. Pens, pencils, and highlighters also. School supplies in general, although if you wait for the back to school sales or just at whenever in school in your area starts up that week afterwards, you can go back and get them for even cheaper. And then, of course, stock up for up to a couple years or more and hope that they don't dry out. Tabletop organizing baskets, I've gotten, I think they're under $3 and under. Envelopes, this is a big one. Padded and regular envelopes of the various sizes. The ones from the post office are way too expensive, especially if you have a home business or if you just send a lot of gifts to family and friends by mail. Save your money. The post office is a ripoff. Dollar stores are amazing for envelopes and packing paper, things like that. Gardening pots and the metal or wooden stakes to hold the vines of your plants up. I live in an apartment now, so I can't randomly collect sticks around the yard or sticks, around the neighborhood. If you go for a because we live by a beach, so you can go collect sticks, and then literally I would just collect sticks, and that's what I would use to stake things in the garden or stake things in the pot. Which is a shame because free is always better. I love my free stuff. Free stuff, as long as I can use it, makes me happy. And even if you get free stuff and you can't use it, just pass it on to somebody else. Cat toys is another thing I like to get at the dollar store when it comes to Kai's birthday. Yes, I get my cat birthday and Christmas gifts. Greeting cards is another thing. Some people would never do this because they're cheap and I guess they don't have as many options, but a lot of people feel that if you, don't spend, $7 or $8 or $9 or $10 on a card, that signifies that you don't love them as much. I've actually heard this nonsense with my own ears. It's ridiculous. Like, it's a card, it's a piece of paper. How you treat somebody obviously is more important than a card, but that's just me. I personally don't care if I get a card with something. I don't keep them. I'm only going to keep the card for so long, and then I'm going to recycle it. There's very few cards that I've kept over the years. Not that I don't appreciate the gesture, but how much stuff can you keep? You keep every bag, every piece of wrapping paper, every card that you ever had. Come on, like, how much stuff can we keep? Let's see. Oh yeah, another really good thing, you can get really good deals at the dollar store, at a dollar store. Disposable dinner plates, the utensils, picnic supplies, those things are a great option if you're having a big party or you're having a lot of family over, or yeah, you just want to be able to toss your picnic stuff into the recycling bin in a public area. Great deals. Napkins, things like that. And of course the occasional bag of licorice, because sometimes you just feel like a little bit of candy. But sometimes at regular stores, even at like a store like Walmart or Target, for example, in Canada at least, I find the States has a much cheaper, they have much cheaper candy, but even in Canada, the bags of candy, which is sugar, are so expensive. And you can get the same thing at the dollar store. Not always, but sometimes you can get the same brand for $1.25, for example, and then you go to those other stores and they're like $5 or $6 or $7. I'm like, oh no. So anyway, dollar stores, if you're getting the right thing or for your needs, for your household's needs, why not? Why not save money for that money that you're saving towards retirement or for that vacation that you want to go on? What are your go-to dollar store items? And did I miss anything that I should be getting at the dollar store? And are there things that are a better deal in size or quantity than at the regular stores? Let me know in the comments. And apparently being fidgety is good for you. We all know those people who are fidgety. They've been fidgety since the moment they've been born. They can't sit still. They're like tapping or shaking their knee, constantly looking around. They're moving up, flicking a pen in between their fingers. They're constantly moving. But according to researchers at the University of Missouri and their small study of 11 volunteers, which is a small study, yes, but smaller studies that are somewhat successful or have potential can lead into larger test groups in the future. So the study of 11 volunteers, they found that not being able to keep your body still for long periods of time can have life-saving effects. We all know that sitting for long periods of time is not good for any of us, and that's why many companies and individuals have standing desks or treadmill desks. And I personally have a standing desk, and although unfortunately I choose to sit more than I should, and I am sitting right now and I probably should be standing up, but anyway, I do get up and walk around at least once an hour, so I'm doing better than I have in the past, where I've sat down for sometimes 3 or 4 hours at a time and without getting up. In the study led by Dr. Padilla, foot tapping participants were tasked with fidgeting one leg intermittently, tapping one foot for a minute, then resting it for 4 minutes while the other leg stayed still. What they found as an average is people perform 250 taps per minute, and that resulted in an increase in blood flow during the actual fidgeting. And so in other words, tap away, or at least get up and walk around every 45 minutes or so to keep the blood circulating. Plus, that break is a nice brain break and an eye break from your computer screen that many of us need more than we know. Cupping therapy for Olympic athletes. Cupping therapy, this is not a new therapy healing technique, but I guess a lot of the world is seeing it for the first time. And I'll just read the definition from dictionary.com. Cupping is a process of drawing blood from the body by scarification and the application of a cupping glass, or, and this is the one that I know, by the application of a cupping glass without scarification as for relieving internal congestion. Or in other words, it helps get rid of aches and pains. The origins of cupping are from China, others say from Greece, but it has been used throughout time, throughout Asian and European civilizations. So who knows the actual origins? None of us were around back then. I don't want to have an argument about it. Anyway, I've wanted to try cupping for years, but like many alternative therapies, cupping is expensive, and seeing world-class athletes won't make me run out and go book an appointment. until the prices go down. I'm all for using the old and the new health practices. I definitely, for me personally, I mix the old and the new all the time, and that works for me for the most part. But the prices for these therapies, alternative therapies, are unfortunately a little too much. But if I do try it and it works, I will definitely go back. Have you tried cupping therapy before? Would you give it a nay or a yay, or is there no way that you would ever do something like that? Are you strictly a modern medicine person? What I'm grateful for this past week. I'm grateful for some great bargains that I was able to get this past week. I was able to get some glass jars that I'll be using for some DIY projects, and I'll talk more on that later, or I don't know, blog or video it something on that later when I get the project going. I got some great leggings on sale at Old Navy, and they were 40% off. What else? Oh yeah, I got some new pans from the Paderno sale. That's a kitchen appliance, kitchenware company. They have sales a couple times, I think 2 or 3 times a year, because their stuff is really, really good, but it's really expensive at regular price. And the stuff that I received was, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, was 71 to 73% off. And yeah, the quality of Paderno stuff is amazing, and I think well worth it, even though with a sale, some people might still think it's pricey. But I personally, when it comes to kitchenware, I was raised by 2 professional chefs, so it's hard for me to pick up any old pot or pan, at wherever and just be happy with it. That it needs to be solid, it has to be of quality, and it has to last for years, if not a lifetime. I have a lot of kitchenware that is older than me, so that was passed down, belonged to my stepdad, and now that my mom's gone, we have her stuff too. So, and I'm very much, it's good stuff and it's quality, and yeah, there's no reason why I can't have it for all of my lifetime. Anyway, so quality when it comes to kitchenware stuff is definitely important to me. And Paderno also has a warranty program, and of course that's another bonus to me. Yeah, so if anything happens, you can sit there and, hey, I'm registered for my warranty, what's going on, either replace it or give me my money back. But I mean, that's a great sign that's a great sign for me, for any company, if they back it up with a warranty and they have had a history of honoring their warranties. That is a good thing for me. Yeah. So, oh yeah, I'm still waiting for them in the mail, for my new pans in the mail. But when I get them, I'll do some sort of post or video about them and the company. So yeah, nothing. My grateful for this past week has been nothing life-changing or exciting, but well, for me, it has been exciting because I love bargains and deals, whether it's on clothes or items that I purchased that I needed or I needed to replace. And in this case, I needed to replace or needed these items. So, oh yeah, and also, I'm also grateful that I was able to learn about taking flat pictures and video with my DSLR. I learned it from, it's a YouTuber, I think Tribe Tyler is his YouTube channel. And because I just started watching him. I've heard about him for a long time now, but I just started watching his videos, and he was talking about flat pictures and video and how he does it. And I've never heard of this technique because obviously I'm new to photography and video and stuff. I'm just learning in the last few years, and it's going to take a lifetime of learning. But, oh yeah, and I'll give you the definition first from dictionary.com. Flat pictures, the technique is even front lighting of a subject, producing little contrast, no shadows, and no modeling. And then according to what I've read, a little bit of that I've read so far, and then from Tribe Tyler, you then add, after you take it, when you're in the editing process, and you add color layers, change up whatever you want afterwards. It does seem like a lot of extra work. I don't know, I may or may not use it a lot, but I think it's good to have the knowledge. Sorry about the beeping. Yeah, it's good to have that knowledge. I'm always looking at, new techniques and new ways to improve, or at least broaden my photography knowledge. We're always going to be learning because, new technology brings about something new every day in the photography or video world. So yeah, I don't know how things are going to work out, or even if I'll like the results, but why not give it a try? Have you heard anything, or have you done flat pictures or video with your DSLR? And are you a lover of it, or do you prefer to just go back to just shooting regular RAW and setting all your, settings manually, etc., shooting manually in RAW? So that is it. Thank you for tuning into episode 36 of My Views Extended. I would love to hear feedback and comments of what you think of this podcast and the topics that I've discussed this week. You can listen to My Views Extended at nadiadanelle.com and on YouTube, where you can subscribe, like, rate, and or leave a comment, which I would love, and where closed captioning is available. I will leave links in the show notes, and as more listening platforms are added or changed, I will let you know. Till next time, this is Nadia.